Thanks for stopping by on the DC Roy's YouTube channel. I'm Tristyn Scott, and here are all the books that I read in April 2024. The first book that I read this month was the Fiancée Farce, a marriage of convenience romance novel by Alexandria Bellefleur. Tansy Adams needs money to buy her family bookstore from her stepmother Catherine, who's planning to sell. Gemma needs to marry for love in order to inherit her family's publishing company. When Gemma learns Tansy has been pretending to date her for 6 months in order to get out of family dinners, she takes the opportunity to propose to Tansy in order to secure the publishing company. I quite like this book, but I wish Gemma wasn't so self-destructive. While I understand why Gemma is like that and her family trauma, it's still frustrating. Again, I really enjoyed this book, and I loved Tansy and Gemma's slow realization that they do genuinely love each other. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The second book that I read this month was Until the Shadows Lengthen. It's a psychological thriller book that centers around Saffron trying to find out what happened to her friend Ray before his death. The book takes place in a sort of prison called Detention, and Saffron struggles with her sanity and mental health while attempting to uncover exactly what happened to Ray while he was in detention and how it's connected to his death. I had a hard time reading this book because of Saffron's mental spiral. It mirrored so many of my own struggles and my delusions and my struggles with comprehending reality as a whole. I rated this 5 stars because of how uncomfortable it made me, as psych thrillers don't make me uncomfortable often. It remains one of my favorite genres of all time, though. The third book that I read this month was The Rise of Kyoshi. The Rise of Kyoshi is the first book in a prequel duology of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The book follows Kyoshi when she learns that she is the Avatar, the only person who can bend all 4 elements. Some unfortunate accidents happen, and Kyoshi is forced to run, taking her friend Rangi with her and seeking the help of Daofei, or bandits. I am a big Atla fan, so I of course enjoyed this book thoroughly, and I rated it 4 stars because while I really did enjoy the book, I wish we got some more information on Kyoshi's parents. Like, why did they abandon her? From the people who knew them, it seemed like they valued family and loyalty above all else. I really hope that gets cleared up in the next book. There is also a duology about Lengthen, the air nomad avatar before Kyoshi, and I really want to read that as well, because Lengthen has always been so vague to me, and I haven't read any of her material at all, so I'm really curious on what she's like, and I will be reading the next book of Kyoshi, and I will most likely read the Lengthen duology as well. The last book that I read this month is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and it's the sequel to Holly Jackson's hit novel, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. On the night of South Sing's memorial, Jamie Reynolds goes missing. While Pip originally refused to look for him because of how dangerous solving South Sing and Andy Bell's murders were, she eventually agrees to help because of police inactivity with the case. I think the main thing I have to say is that Holly Jackson really knows how to write a mystery book. She had me hooked through the entire thing, making me devour it in 2 days. I ate up every single new clue and lead that Pip discovered, every twist and turn. I had to process this book for a solid hour after I finished it, and I still was thinking about it as I went to sleep. I love this book, it's got 5 stars, and I will be reading Good as Dead. Here are the books that I have planned for May. And some people in the audience may know that May is one of many challenge months for artists on social media. Mermay, or writing/drawing mermaid-themed art all throughout of May, is my personal favorite, because I adore mermaids. I've been obsessed with them since I was a child. So, in honor of Mermay, all of the books I have lined up are mermaid-themed. The first book I have planned is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. Sami, a Mamiwata, or mermaid, goes against her creed and saves a boy from drowning. Now, she must travel to make amends with the gods and figure out what this boy is hiding from her, and just how much he truly knows. The second book I have lined up is The Siren by Kiera Cass. This is technically a reread, but I read it during the early stages of quarantine and the pandemic and staying home, so I really need to reread it. Colin is a siren, a beautiful weapon waiting her turn for a new chance at life. But when a Kinley, a human, crosses her path, she begins to reevaluate the rules she's lived by for so long. The third book I have lined up is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. 7 years ago, a group set off to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary about sea creatures of ancient legend. Now, Victoria sets off with a new crew to find out what happened to her sister, a member of the original crew, and to uncover the secrets of the deep sea. What no one on this new crew knows, however, is that uncovering secrets comes with a cost. The final book I have lined up is Mermaid Moon by Susan Coco. Santa is a mermaid, but only half by blood. A sea witch has cursed both her and her human mother so that no one knows where or who she was born to. Now 16, Santa apprentices with the witch to study magic and find out who she is, encountering multiple struggles on the human world. Thank you for coming along with me for April's books, and I will see you next month for Mermaid. Bye!